Dear all, it is my great pleasure and honor to welcome you to this celebratory video that has been recorded to join the community and invite the community to celebrate this year's Jean Blondel PhD winner. The prize itself has been established in 2003 by ECPR, and the committee awards the annual prize for the best thesis in politics. The prize itself is nominated by a member institution, and the prize jury for this year has been composed by Professors Elias Dinas from European University Institute, Anna Meyer from Nottingham University, and Christian Rauch from the VCB Berlin Social Science Center. It has been a remarkable journey. We have been awarded a number of excellent PhD works that we have consulted. We have shortlisted a small group of them, but very soon in our deliberations, we were certain who this year's winner will be. The jury itself has very quickly, when we met in person after reading the shortlisted works, decided on a winner, and that is Delia Zollinger's exceptional PhD thesis entitled Structural Change, Identity Formation, and Cleavage Consolidation in 21st Century Politics, which she defended at the University of Zurich. We believe it stands as a pioneering contribution to contemporary political research. It is elegantly crafted, easy to read. Zollinger's dissertation combines and advances, we believe, several key strands of scholarship in political science and political psychology, thereby shedding new light on the evolving landscape of electoral politics. The thesis synthesizes and expands upon existing cleavage research and the study of political identities, and what we found particularly important both theoretically and methodologically, introduces fresh perspectives that already resonate strongly in the field. In short, we felt confident that what sets this dissertation apart is the nuance it offers, combines with innovative and targeted methodology, encompassing a diverse array of both observational and experimental survey designs, open survey questions, and text analysis. Delia handles original data and methods with skill and precision, interpreting her findings with clarity and meaning. To sum up, Delia's thesis serves as a highly valuable reference point for those seeking to comprehend the intricacies of 21st century electoral dynamics and its structure. We, as the jury, clearly see this dissertation as a remarkable achievement that is to have a lasting impact. I would now like to turn to Silja, who has nominated the work to us, and we are very grateful for that. If you could say a few things about yourself and also about the process behind the scenes, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
The pleasure and the honor are all mine. I would like to thank the jury for their tremendous work. It's a lot of work to award these awards and to do this in a careful way. And I'm extremely pleased, of course, to see the result. I really had the honor of advising this PhD thesis. The behind the scenes process was very smooth at every stage. And I was very early on extremely impressed with the scope of Delia's thinking and also the creativity and innovative quality of her work, which is why I wanted to nominate her work for this prize. I think it's also very fitting that she receives the Jean Blondel Prize. I mean, Jean Blondel was a party scholar, but he was not a scholar of party organizations and small detailed questions, but he was really interested in how parties compete and how party systems shape society and government. And that is also how I see Delia's work. Delia is not a party scholar in the narrow sense. She's really a scholar of social change and political conflict. And when thinking about today's prize and the video we are doing now, I realized that I think you're really a great representative of what I think is a new cohort or new generation of political sociologists who think about politics and society without some of the blinders that have may have impeded research in the past. I think of, you know, divides between quantitative or qualitative approaches, between observational versus experimental approaches, or rational choice versus culturalist explanations. And your work is free of all of these constraints and divides, and just studies the way society changes and the way politics changes with society in a very fruitful way, both theoretically and methodologically. Hana has pointed to that quality of the dissertation already, and to me, this is really also what stands out with your work. On the one hand, that you managed to link political psychology, sociology, and comparative political economy in really great ways to show how identities are not a rival explanation to structuralist or economic explanations, but really go together hand in hand, and that identities are very much rooted sociostructurally. And then, as you also pointed out, Hana, the methodological creativity and innovation that the thesis has produced. And here I just want to highlight the article "Cleavage Identities in Voters' Own Words" that was published with the HAPS last year and is open access to everyone, where Delia used sophisticated text analysis methods to identify the terms that voters on the left and the right associate with their own identity, of how they think about themselves and the other side politically. And I think this is a wonderful example of how we can use tools in a very innovative way. So I don't just speak for myself here. The entire jury of this dissertation was, of course, very impressed. It consisted of Thomas Kurer from the University of Zurich, and then also Sarah Hobolt from LSE and Catherine de Vries from Bocconi. And we all, members of the jury, came from different positions in the literature to this work. Catherine and Sarah in particular more from the issue competition, party competition side, me more from the CPE side. And we had heated discussions in this defense, I realized. But these discussions really helped us carve out differences and similarities in this debate that we are all interested in. And I think that is exactly what good books and good dissertations do. They really provide a map of debates that they engage with. And I think this dissertation was particularly successful in doing so. So that's why I nominated it, and that's why I'm so very pleased that you actually received the award.
Well, thank you, Silja, for those words, but not just for those words. Thank you for advising and accompanying the whole dissertation. It's been a pleasure, and it still is. My reaction when learning about this prize was of joy and excitement. This kind of recognition, of course, feels really wonderful. So I want to also thank the jury for all of their work, for engaging with the dissertation. It means a lot. But the whole process, the dissertation, is also so tied up in my mind with the people and the setting that made the project what it is. And that I also felt just immensely lucky about the environment in which I was able to write the dissertation. I'm talking about the Department of Political Science at the University of Zurich, where we're actually sitting now. And so we actually met in my undergrad, and I think, you know, I was very inspired early on by Silja and her teaching in evidently formative ways, but I think I didn't fully realize or grasp when I was just starting out as a student and studying at my home university close to where I grew up, how excellent an academic environment this actually is. I think that realization came later. What I did realize really early on was that it was a very friendly environment made up of people around whom you enjoy spending time, and that was really my experience all the way through the PhD. So that, coupled with you know, a privileged position in terms of conditions and resources, and the added benefit of having friends and family close by, especially during the pandemic, really helped this project immensely. And I want to take this opportunity to just thank everyone who not just made the dissertation better, but who made the whole experience what it was. I'm really very, very grateful. So I was asked to talk a bit about current and upcoming work. And actually, I think a lot of the motivations, bigger questions that were behind the dissertation are still very present in my current work. So one overarching question being how should we think about very fundamental changes in political conflict structures that we can see unfolding across advanced democracies, the rise of the far right, but also the progressive left. So whether what often looks like chaos and disruption is actually giving rise to a new cleavage. That would be comparable with the class or religious cleavages that shaped electoral politics in the 20th century. And with that, of course, I'm building on a lot of great work that was already there. And the dissertation argues that this is the case, looking specifically at Switzerland and at the role of identities in cleavage formation. And the Swiss case is really interesting because it's an extreme and early case of transformations at the societal and political level that we see in other contexts as well. But because the argument was always comparative, I'm very excited to currently be working on a collaborative book project with others at the department, including Silja, where we study cleavage formation not only in Switzerland, but also in France, the UK, and Germany. And one thing this book shows is that a lot of the trends kind of traced in Switzerland in the dissertation are also observable in these other contexts that are very different stages of these transformations in different institutional contexts. So that's kind of one current project that I'm very excited to share soon. A second theme that I think links the dissertation to a lot of other projects is more about the individual and group level mechanisms that underpin these bigger macro level transformations. So thinking about how people perceive their place in a society that is changing in very fundamental ways, thinking about what that means for how such a cleavage might be mitigated in the long run. And this, at least in my mind, links a number of projects that are actually quite diverse with different co-authors. One that looks at how the role that educational networks play in stabilizing a new cleavage. Another project in which we study people's perceptions of changing status hierarchies as measured in open-ended questions. And a third, for instance, where the interest is more specifically in how women who have experienced upward social mobility in a changing economic and social context perceive those social trajectories themselves and in whether and how they link them to politics. And these are different projects with co-authors here at the department and beyond, Magda Breyer, Tapia Pantag, David Atwell, Britta van Salduinen. So all kind of constellations and projects that I was already very excited about. And this prize just gives an additional boost and additional motivation to keep working on these topics. So thank you again.
Well, thank you on behalf of all of us at ECPR, Delia, for writing such a wonderful thesis. For Silja and the University of Zurich for giving you the environment and guidance to do so. Both of you have mentioned how much work goes into selecting a winner, and there certainly is work involved. But I think once we start reading the PhD works that are presented to us, there is also a great pride, motivation, and even a humbling moment for us in the jury when we read these excellent works by excellent scholars who, as your mentor Silja mentioned, kind of almost naturally combine different perspectives, approaches, innovations, and write in an elegant way a thesis that captures your mind, joins a conversation, enlarges the conversations already. So it is work, but it is also a great experience, a humbling experience for us. And we are always, and at this moment in particular, very grateful for having had that opportunity to award this important prize to you as a recognition, but I'm also pleased to hear as a boost of your future endeavors. And we will be all looking forward to reading these in print soon. Thank you very much.